This is our time of response, and so the mics are open.
A while ago, I heard a sermon, and then afterwards someone shared something that from my perspective anyway, it kind of seemed like they missed the point or didn't get it. And to me, it seemed like there's a deception that if Satan deceives you, sometimes there's like a scale over your eyes. And so you can hear something that's true or read something that's true, but you oh, it doesn't mean that. And so anyway, the reason I felt like I should get up is that I actually think the biggest deception that Satan has in the corporate church right now, most pervasive and also most dangerous, is an oversimplification of the ideas in this passage. Because, totally not accusing anyone, I actually used to think this way too, false holiness is bad, therefore holiness is bad. It sounds really dumb, I know, but it's a really, really gross oversimplification. But it's like, oh, the Pharisees are bad, therefore, what are the Pharisees all about? They're about the law. The law is bad. The Jews are bad. It's kind of a insidious, gross oversimplification. So, anyway, I feel like there's this this verse that I read that maybe helps draw out why this hypocrisy is bad. I mean, hypocrisy is just wrong. But it was like a year ago I read this verse, and if I had read it before, I didn't notice it, and it really stopped me in my tracks. And if I cannot convey to you how this verse grabbed me, and I have been researching it and following it through, and whoa, literally for a year. It's from Numbers 20, verse 12 and 13. It says, but God said to Moses and Aaron, because you did not trust in me so as to cause me to be regarded as holy. Some translations say sanctified. You just got to remember they're really the same idea. To cause to be regarded as holy, to make holy, to be holy. They're different tenses of the same word. Okay, so to cause me to be regarded as holy by the people of Israel, you will not bring this community into the land I've given them. This is Meribah Spring, Disputation Spring, where the people of Israel disputed with Adonai, and he was caused to be regarded as holy by them. You could say, Nicole, I'm not Moses. Moses has a higher level of, relationship with God, and I agree. But moms and dads, you're kind of like Moses to your kids. We all have areas of leadership, and we have, therefore, a higher standard of holiness, of representing God more faithfully to those who are following us. And so obviously this happened in the past. And this is not an isolated verse. This is even in Moses at the very end of Deuteronomy, he's getting ready to say his song. This comes up again. This is a big deal. And then almost exactly the same language now talking about in the future in Ezekiel 36. This is when God is talking about in the future, he's going to regather Israel who's been exiled. And he says, it's not because of anything that you did. He said, I will set apart my great name to be regarded as holy, since it has been profaned in the nations. You profaned it among them. The nations will know that I am Adonai, says Adonai Elohim, when before their eyes I am set apart through you to be regarded as holy. And I just see that, this is the point of image bearing. We are supposed to show who God is. And so if we're being fake, or, the thing that it was referring to in Numbers was God told Moses and Aaron to speak to the rock, and I think it was like right after his sister died. Maybe he was upset about that. I don't know. They were complaining all the time. Like, he was like, I've had it. He was mad. And instead of speaking to the rock, he struck the rock. It was a big deal. But it misrepresented the character of God. And so I'm not saying that we have to be perfect all the time, but when we mess up, we have to repent, because when we mess up, we're not representing accurately the character of God, and everybody's watching. And that's the purpose. He's the unseen God. That's the way God chose to reveal himself to the world, is through us and through his word. But we have to faithfully, the best we can, and when we mess up, repent, because that's how he's being seen. We have to cause him to be regarded as holy. Holiness is such a big issue of set apart. Well, what is set apart? Well, the way of the world is fakeness, and look good on the outside, but corrupted on the inside. So that's not how God is. Maybe that doesn't make sense, the connection, but I just felt like I should share.
Yeah, I think the point of the woes of Jesus is that there's two ways to go about being the holy representation of God. And his way, Jesus' way, is inside out. To become his imagers again, like we were in the beginning, before the fall, by a transformation that starts in the heart and manifests in behavior, rather than just focusing on the behavior, just focusing on the acts of holiness, just focusing on what we do and don't do, and right? Those are important. But if that's where we begin and end our focus, devoid of the transformation of the heart that produces that, then we've stopped at where the Pharisees were. And he says, your righteousness has to exceed that. Can't just be external. It needs to come from inside.